Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm happy to be with you here again towards the end of the week. And I've been talking about Proverbs, and I've been talking about what God says about the tongue and talking in the book of Proverbs. So I have just one verse today. It's really pretty simple, but it may not be quite as simple as it appears. So let's take a look at it. It's Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 4. And here's what it says. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Let me read it again. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. This Proverbs gives us a contrast of possibilities. You have a gentle word or a not so gentle word, one that's even deceitful. And it really tells us something about the power of speaking. Now, James talks about it in other places, about how the tongue is almost untamable. Jesus talks about how out of the mouth comes the heart. So it's this little thing in our mouth called the tongue that really defines who we are. Oh, I know that we can do good deeds. We can be very faithful in church attendance. We can give God all of our money. But who we really are inside is revealed by the tongue, by how we talk. This passage says, gentle words are a tree of life. What is life? Well, it's breathing, it's walking around, it's eating, it's thinking, it's looking, hearing. Life is the totality of being on this earth. It's the most precious part of our being, life. Some people live a good life. Some people live a not so good life. Some people live an enthusiastic life. Some people live an angry life. Some people live a life of compassion and grace. And some people live a life of tearing others down. What do you do? Oh, I know. Nobody's going to say the negative parts. Everybody's going to say, well, I do the right things. I try to encourage people and whatnot. But really and truly, if you were to listen to yourself, what would you hear? When you get with a group of 3 or 4 others, what do y'all talk about? Things that build character up or things that tear it down? When you think about the weather, when I had my farm, I'd occasionally stop at the farm supply place, and they always had the weather station on. And the one thing I noticed, all of the farmers, regardless of what the weather was, talked about how bad it could be. They always thought about the negative. Now, I grant you, if you're a farmer, you're growing crops. I grew animals, so I didn't have the same problem. But if you're growing crops, the weather is critical as to whether you make it or not. But they were always had something negative to say. If it was really nice and warm, then it was too hot. If you get too much rain, you get too much. You get too little, you get too little. And they didn't realize, I don't think, that their words were not creating enthusiasm and life. And if they went home and talked that way, it didn't create it in others either. And then in contrast, it says, a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. I think about the spirit of somebody. It's not something you can touch. It's not skin and bones. It's not something that will cause physical pain. The spirit is the inner drive within you that defines how you live. And when you crush that spirit, there's almost nothing left. You see that with small animals. Probably do with large ones too, but let's look at the picture, if you will, of a puppy. You scream and holler at a puppy. You kick the puppy. You do all kinds of things to it. And what does that puppy do? When you stick your hand out towards the puppy, it scrunches up and it quivers. Its whole being has been destroyed. Now you can bring it back to life, but boy, you really got to work hard at it. If it happens with puppies, what do you think happens with people, especially children? All of us have to grow and mature. Some of us do it faster than others. Some of us do it slower than others. But we all have to get to the point where we're an adult, where we can function in society. And if before you get anywhere near that stage, your spirit is crushed from people's words, you're going to have a tough life. I've seen it over and over and over again. People decide whether they are smart or stupid, not so much on the basis of their tests, though that's part of it, but they do it on the basis of encouragement or lack of encouragement. You can overcome any disability with a spirit that's strong and vibrant and knows it's terrific. And you can't overcome the smallest difficulty if you have a crushed spirit. And some of you I'm speaking to today have a crushed spirit. And that's sad. But God doesn't want you to have that. And I encourage you, if you have a crushed spirit, that you decide, I'm going to beat this, because you can. There are ways to do that. And if you don't know how, call me. I'll share some. But one of the things you have to do is start off knowing God wants better for you. So I'd like for you today to think about, do your words bring life, or do your words crush a spirit? You are in charge of your words, and those things have power. So today, let's all of us decide we're going to use our power to bring life to those that we meet. Every time, all the time. Well, thanks for listening. Really appreciate you sharing your time. Hope you have a great day. If you have a need or a concern, call us. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. I'll be back tomorrow one last time to finish out this time in Proverbs. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.